Hello YouTubers, my name is Frederick Lopez and you are in a new episode of Gaming Hour. And I'm going to be kind of going over a retrospective review of Aliens Colonial Marines. Now, in honor of Alien Covenant, I decided to get back into the Alien games, and now in my previous review I went over Alien Isolation. The hardest game I've ever played in my life, but you know what? It was quite an experience, and it was a nice throwback to old school games and just traditional survival horror. And I really love the way the Xenomorph acts. I love the story. It should be canonized, and it's really nice playing as the daughter of Ellen Ripley. It's really nice, and I really loved the game. After I was done with it, I was like, it was hard, but I felt like I could do anything, and I wanted to basically play another Alien game. So that's when I heard of Alien Colonial Marines. Now this game, it did not get very good reviews. It's very much kind of like a PS2 game as far as graphics and everything. But I still wanted to play the game and check it out. I almost bought it a couple of times but never did. But after playing Alien Isolation, I felt like playing something different, and I just felt like shooting a shitload of xenomorphs. I didn't care how dumb they were. I wanted to get some xenomorph revenge. Now, into this review, it's not the best Aliens game ever made, but is it as bad as what they're saying? It depends. If you're a hardcore gamer as far as like first-person shooters and Alien, well, it's going to disappoint you as an Alien game and what ultimately could have been a great Alien game with the Colonial Marines, and if you're a fan of Aliens, you know the directions it could have gone. But it's a little bit like the Alien vs. Predator games with a basic first-person shooter. So if you're used to Call of Duty, Red Faction, Time Splitters, Medal of Honor, and all that, it's going to be a little bit more of a basic shoot-'em-up with xenomorphs that are just kind of running around like Resident Evil zombies, really. But they still do have acid blood, which really affects you. But it ultimately has mercenaries and human targets as well. That's one thing I have about the both games, is that you don't need humans in an Alien game. What's the deal with that? Anyway, it's not as bad as what they say. If you're just a casual gamer, you don't care about graphics, you just want to play and just enjoy something, it's not that bad, but it does have its flaws. First off, the story. The story is actually pretty interesting. It starts with the Colonial Marines. Now, my main con with this game is that all the new characters, including the one you play called Winter, they're not very interesting. O'Neill is kind of like a douchebag slash jerk, and then you have another character, and she is kind of like, I guess, the Vasquez of this new group, but not as memorable. Ultimately, the Colonial Marines aren't really sympathetic. Like, I can't explain it. Like, you can't root for them the way you root for Bill Paxton or Michael Biehn or any of the other characters of the Colonial Marines. They're just kind of your basic cookie-cutter video game characters, and I really wish they created something more with personality and really created a team of Colonial Marines you could get behind. So when stuff really hits the fan, you would be there invested in the characters and the story, and when people die, you would actually feel something. It'd be like an emotional journey, the way you felt when you watched Aliens and you saw the Colonial Marines being taken out at the beginning by the aliens, or being taken out later one by one until it was just a few remaining survivors. The video game could have had a lot more of that. But it's a first-person shooter, and I really like the gunplay. It's very much kind of like Time Splitters, or just any other shoot-'em-up first-person shooter. The only con I would have about the gunplay is that you have to actually look down and press square, which I don't mind because Resident Evil 5 played upon that, and Gears of War you have to look down. But sometimes it does get a tad annoying when you're in a rush. You're clearly looking down, but you have to look at a specific point and press square. You have to hold it, press it, and it doesn't pick it up unless you directly look at it, even if the camera is in that point of view. And that's when it gets kind of annoying, is when it comes to crunch time, when there's like hundreds upon hundreds of xenomorphs or just mercenaries trying to shoot at you, and you're trying to get ammo or health, and you just can't because of the way the functionality is. It's very, very rough in that regard. Graphic-wise, it does look like a PS2 game, but not in a bad way. Very almost like basic HD. In a way, I wouldn't quite be as harsh as, say, PS2. In a way, it's like late PS2, early PS3. Remember early PlayStation 3 games like Spider-Man 3? Other earlier PS3 games that kind of looked a little bit like the PS2 still, that's what it looks like. Which is no excuse for 2013 when this game came out, but I got this on sale, so I didn't get it for full price, so I enjoy it for what it is. It's made by Sega, and yeah, this game was completely mismarketed from what I saw. being promoted to what we actually got. You do get some nods, however, with like legendary weapons and people and places that occurred in Alien, like Bishop's body, a couple of the Colonial Marines, the mech suit, the Queen, Alien Queen, and there's a character that is from the films that makes an appearance here, which I won't get to until my spoiler review at the end of this. But ultimately, it's a very action-packed game. It's enjoyable just to play through. The graphics do get to your eyes, and the action does become a bit repetitive. It doesn't have that survival horror element, except for some parts. You're captured by the aliens to get out of their nest without weapons. That part was crazy, and the way they acted with motion and sense, it was very much like Jurassic Park. Now, there are some elements where the aliens do get to you. They act like aliens, but at the same time, they're very, very dumbed down, and it's really kind of clunky the way they move. It's almost like they feel like people in alien suits. It doesn't feel like a creature. And that's one thing that Alien Isolation got down packed, was the way the xenomorph acted, and I feel like it could have had more of that. Other than that, though, it's a very action-packed game, and it's single-player and multiplayer on both the campaign, and there's like versus mode and stuff like that. So it's very fun if you have like a little brother, sister, or like nephew, niece, and you want to play a game with them. And I do love the cutscenes. Now, they put a patch to make it play more smoothly, but it has a very Terminator Dawn of Fate feel to it, and I really like how the cutscenes are. It feels like you're watching a movie. However, the levels and gameplay could be done just a tad better. And again, with the xenomorph, it's crazy how they have acid blood like in the movie, so when you shoot one close up, you get burned by acid. And that is a very nice feature, and really one hell of a defense mechanism, like they say in the films. I mean, it is just crazy. But you do have mercenaries in there from Weyland-Yutani, and there's a bigger story going on here. And, I mean, it's okay to have human enemies once in a while, but after a while you're like, can I just have some xenomorphs to fight? And vice versa. Like, it's one of those where Alien Isolation had human mercenaries, and so did this one. But this one, it's almost like they placed them there, even though it's a story. It's just like, why? I feel like they made it to a basic first-person shooter where it started out with the aliens very, very convincingly, and you also had a chest burster scene, a lot of dread put into it, and then like after the first 2 or 3 levels, it's just regular humans for a while, and that really just changed the tone of it, where they really could have just built upon what they had, I felt. And Isolation had human characters, but you're on a space station that's in chaos. People are going to act a certain way when it comes to survival. This, you just pretty much have goons put on the planet to fight you. But I do like all the little homages to aliens. Derelict ship, and you see the space jockey, and then you see the little red laser ball things from Prometheus. That was a nice touch, how it connected to both Aliens and Prometheus. There's also some slight connections to Alien and Alien 3. Now to my score, before I get to spoiler. Ultimately, I did not think this game was as bad as what they said. Not the best game I've ever played. It's enjoyable for what it is. No way near Alien Isolation, but it's an okay game. I don't want to give it a 3, but its flaws, the way the gameplay is, the way the controls are sometimes, the way the AI acts, that plus some of the graphics really knocks it down. I really want to like this game more because I enjoyed it. It's just not quite up there with a 3 with the flaws, so I give it a 2.5, a 6 out of 10, and a B-. I would almost say C, but it has a little bit of enjoyment that I like that kind of makes it just a mediocre game. It's an okay game. Not the worst game ever, but nowhere near the Aliens or Alien game we deserve. Ultimately, I feel like they should get the survival horror aspect of Alien Isolation and combine it with some of the first-person shooter action of this game, and you would have your perfect Alien universe game. I mean, you would have your perfect Alien game. Hell, even try to do that format and just redo the movies with Sigourney Weaver as Ripley. I would love playing the Alien trilogy, or even up to Alien Resurrection, whatever. But that being said, it's an okay game. I would get it used or at a discounted price. This is brand new, but it was on sale at Amazon, so I got it on sale. And I really wanted to play this game along with Alien Isolation. I had this for like 3 years, played it off and on, barely finished it a couple of weeks ago. Got this in anticipation for Alien Covenant. So I really wanted to just play it and get in my alien mood. And I do like this one scene. You're in the mech suit and you fight like this headbutt alien. It's like this little alien that tackles. That's a cool feature scene where you get to fight. Ultimately, you don't get to do that with the Alien Queen. You have a really, really horrible boss battle. Just throws you around, you kind of have to stealth, press buttons, and then boom, it's gone. And I thought it was going to come back. You didn't really have that climatic fight, and the ending was sequel bait. I did not like it. You felt like it was going to have one more level or go somewhere, and then it just ends, and it's just like unexpected. One thing about both Alien games is it had a horrible, horrible sequel bait ending after everything you went through. But this one wasn't as stressful as Isolation. But still, it's just like, it was finally getting somewhere, and then it just ends. It was just abrupt. And there is also this like Triceratops looking alien that's just crazy. You just have to shoot a whole bunch of times. I thought you had to like hit into like a explosive barrel, but no, it's crazy. There's some crazy moments. And again, with the AI, you have Colonial Marines, but they have guns, they have all these other weapons, but a lot of them don't help you out. So you're really on your own fighting all these xenomorphs. And it's sad because it gets to a point where you have 13 Colonial Marines with you and they're doing nothing to help you fight these xenomorphs. There's a pilot saying, I need the gas lines to be released. You didn't do that before as a pilot, so you have to do that. None of your men are protecting you. You have 13 men, and then there's like all these hundreds of xenomorphs. It is just nuts. But anyway, yeah, it's just not the best game it could have been. So yeah, 2.5 out of 5, 6 out of 10, and a B-. Now to spoiler territory. Colonel Hicks. I do like Michael Biehn reprising his role as Hicks. It's just that continuity-wise, it's a little bit hard to explain considering you saw him with his face smashed in at the beginning of Alien 3. I like that he's alive, and I like the whole Stasis Interrupted DLC. They have the Stasis Interrupted DLC, which is really confusing, but I like the little touch with Alien 3 and him arriving late when Ripley dies. But the whole thing with the real Weyland-Yutani just makes him look like a dunce, and I don't like that. It just makes him look like some schmuck who just figured out that Weyland-Yutani was an android. Where in the actual campaign, he looks a little bit more assertive, and he's just a bit more of a badass by knowing that that's not the real Weyland-Yutani. I could kind of get behind it in some stretch of the imagination, because anything's fair game, but at the same time, I'm like, did they really have to do that? Like, I want Hicks alive, but the way they did it, and the way it is with the continuity, just kind of messes it up more and just makes me feel worse about the whole Alien 3 situation. So I'm not sure, but I did like that he voiced Hicks. He gave a half-hearted performance, he said. He could tell that the developers did not have enthusiasm for this game. And ultimately, I hate to break it, but it shows when your developers don't have the enthusiasm. You want to know what it's like when developers have enthusiasm and passion behind a project? Here's what it looks like when they don't. This is when developers have passion for a project. I hope this gets a sequel or there's another Alien game, whatever. It just sucks that this game affected the press and just reviews for Alien Isolation, because Alien Isolation is a far superior game. But if you're not too nitpicky, you just want a basic shoot 'em up just to waste some time, enjoy yourself, and a little bit more exploration to the Alien universe, then check out Aliens Colonial Marines. Anyway, that's just my thoughts and feelings of Alien Colonial Marines. Hope you all enjoyed this little review of Gaming Hour. Again, it's a little bit different than my other segments for Gaming Hour, but this is still an experimental show right now, so I'm just trying to figure out which direction to take it, and they're not all going to be the same. But let me know in the comments below, what are some of your favorite moments of Alien Colonial Marines? Did you love it? Did you absolutely just despise this game? Just let me know in the comments below. And if you haven't played it, get this used, but yeah, just let me know some of your favorite moments if you loved it. If you hated it, just let me know what you do not like. Yeah, just let me know in the comments below. And if you like this video, click the like button, comment, subscribe, check out my other videos. I have a Gaming Hour where I go over my initial thoughts of Alien Isolation. And then I have 2 reviews of Alien and Aliens. One on the Final Cut and the other on Action Reaction. Anyway, I'm looking forward to Alien Covenant, and it was just a little bit of a blast playing Alien Colonial Marines. Not the best game, but hey, I've played worse, and yeah, I got to shoot some xenomorphs after the stressful experience of Isolation, so that has to count for something. Anyway, thank you for watching. You all have a great day.